Smooth and comfortable ride, generous rear passenger space, long list of standard equipment, not exactly things associated with pickup trucks. Well, the Ridgeline has always been different. A pickup that doesn't care much about the segment standards that were set decades ago. And that's probably the key reason why it has such a loyal customer base, which you will be happy to hear that more novelties have just been introduced. That's right, the all-new 2025 Honda Ridgeline is here, and it stuns everybody. 2025 Honda Ridgeline, a few more aesthetical updates. Although the oldest model in the segment, the current generation Ridgeline still dominates in many aspects of the class, especially when it comes to style, quality, and refinement. After the recent mid-cycle refresh, it became even better with a new front-end design that includes revised fascia, grille, headlights, bumper, and many more. Honda engineers managed to hide the fact that this generation has been around for 8 years very well. The Ridgeline looks fresh enough to remain competitive for a few more years. But they recently decided that despite the attractive new look, there is still room for a few more updates. Therefore, the 2025 Ridgeline unexpectedly brings aesthetical novelties just a year after the major mid-cycle refresh. Of course, updates are not as major as in the previous model year, but the Japanese manufacturer brings a new set of 18-inch wheels designed by the company's well-known performance department, Honda Performance Development. The new wheels are available in Sport, RTL, and Trail Sport trims. They're called Sport Plus, RTL Plus, and Trail Sport Plus now, while the standard versions of these trim levels continue with their more common 18-inch alloy wheels. Class-leading ride quality. The Ridgeline was introduced about 2 decades ago, and all throughout these years, it managed to establish a very loyal customer base, just like most Hondas do. But the Ridgeline had a much harder task compared to other Honda models, as it brought a pretty unconventional design approach to the pretty conventional niche. It brought a car-based pickup truck. It wasn't the first time to see such a design approach, but it was the first time it actually worked. Things haven't changed with the current generation, which continues to impress the truck community with its ride quality. Whether it's about handling, stability, or comfort, the Ridgeline dominates the segment. Yes, body-on-frame rivals are more capable, but not enough to compensate for their inferior road manners. The Ridgeline is lighter, with a lower center of gravity, and with many other technical solutions that make the difference. Just take the suspension setup as an example. The Ridgeline features a multi-link independent rear suspension, while rivals still use leaf springs. In other words, both handling and comfort are superior, which doesn't come as a surprise, considering that the actual design is heavily based on the Pilot and that most of the parts are shared with this popular SUV. With its unibody platform, the Ridgeline offers an SUV-like driving experience, and that's its main advantage over the competition. Also worth mentioning is that the Ridgeline comes standard with all-wheel drive. It's Honda's well-known SH all-wheel drive system, which proved its value in its various Honda and Acura models. Of course, keep in mind that we're talking about all-wheel drive rather than four-wheel drive, so the focus is on off-road traction and stability on loose surfaces. For off-roading, most rivals are better, though the Ridgeline also has a dedicated off-road version that does a pretty decent job. We're talking about the Trail Sport trim, which features off-road suspension and all-terrain tires, among other upgrades, which also include a couple of exclusive styling details, including a different grille design. Powertrain. When we talk about the Ridgeline's ride quality, it's impossible not to talk about its excellent engine. Yes, many rivals have switched to Turbo 4 units, and as a unibody pickup, the Ridgeline could have done that first if we use that kind of logic, but thankfully that's not happening. The Ridgeline relies on smoothness rather than the modern-day kind of efficiency. More natural power buildup and essentially a much more refined operation is what Honda chooses over a bit more low-end torque. If we talk about numbers, Honda's single overhead camshaft 3.5-liter V6 doesn't seem mind-blowing at all. 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque are a lot of power, but not exactly class-leading. Still, with a lighter body, adequate transmission, and excellent super handling all-wheel drive, it manages to outpace some way more powerful rivals. It actually needs a 6-second flat to hit 60 miles per hour, while more powerful rivals, whether they're Turbo 4 or V6 powered, usually need an extra second for the same sprint. Numbers aside, this V6 feels really competent whether you're driving around town or you're on the open road, where there's plenty of low and mid-range torque for seamless overtaking. The Ridgeline does the job, and it does it quite efficiently, considering that its average fuel economy goes around 18 mpg city and 24 mpg highway. Once again, we're talking about a mid-sized truck with standard all-wheel drive, so the figures are actually quite impressive. Of course, there are some drawbacks too, and in the Ridgeline's case, that refers to the combo of unibody construction, refined transmission, and all-wheel drive system, instead of a genuine 4x4, which altogether provide no more than 5,000 pounds of max towing capacity. It's not bad at all. You can actually tow a decently sized trailer or a boat with ease, but then you check the body-on-frame competition and realize that most of them can tow way over 7,000 pounds. Simply, that's the price you pay for refinement. Interior design. With a typical body-on-frame pickup, drivers come with the presumption that there are a lot of compromises to be made regarding cabin design and ride quality in general. Just think about the tight cabins of models like the Frontier or Colorado, or maybe even about the Tacoma's poor sound insulation. Well, all of those are gone with the Ridgeline, as it comes with pretty much the same cabin design, at least the front part of it, as the Honda Pilot. In other words, it's designed from the very beginning to be very quiet and comfortable with excellent ergonomics. That's exactly what the Ridgeline offers, even though not many things have changed over the years and some parts of the dashboard start to look a little bit aged. The overall impression about this cabin is still great. The materials are very nice, while the overall build quality is at a typical Honda level, which means great. But what impresses most about this cabin is its car-like layout. There is no awkward driving position with the Ridgeline. This is a typical Honda, where the driver traditionally gets special treatment. Ergonomics are great too, while the visibility is good in all directions. As for the rest of the passengers, the seats are nice, while the amount of passenger space is impressive in both rows, so 5 adults can be accommodated with ease. The cargo bed, on the other hand, is not exactly the longest, but with a little bit over 5 feet, it's not the shortest either. It's rather average, but what sets it apart from the competition is its practical layout, full of smart solutions. Honda's cargo bed comes with an in-bed trunk, a lockable and water-resistant storage compartment built into the bed floor. Furthermore, the Ridgeline has been famous for its dual-action tailgate that opens just like any other tailgate, but can also swing to the side and provide much easier reach to the cargo. LED in-bed lighting is there too, along with various tie-down cleats, as well as a power outlet that can be used to power various tools and other devices. Safety. Truck manufacturers often neglect this aspect, so most pickups aren't particularly generous with advanced driver assist features, at least in the most basic variants. With Honda, that's not the case. Even the cheapest Ridgeline comes standard with a well-known Honda Sensing suite of safety systems, which includes a long list of advanced systems. Some of the highlights are a collision mitigation braking system, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and automatic high beams. Trim levels. The new 2025 Honda Ridgeline starts at $40,150, and for that money, you get the Sport trim, which, although basic, has a lot to offer. LED headlights and 18-inch alloy wheels are some of the exterior highlights. On the inside, it's great to know that even the most basic Ridgeline comes with tri-zone climate control, a 9-inch infotainment screen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless charging, and a 7-speaker audio system. As mentioned, Honda Sensing is also part of the standard equipment. The mid-level RTL trim, priced at $42,980, mostly brings additional convenience features like a sunroof, power sliding rear window, driver memory settings, and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. At the top of the offer sits the Black Edition with a price tag of $46,750, and as you may presume, it's mostly about blacked-out details. Wheels, exterior trim, interior color schemes, all these come in black, but there are also a few extra features like additional USB ports, a household power outlet, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, and more. Finally, the off-road focused Trail Sport starts at $45,380, and besides off-road upgrades we already talked about, it also comes with a good portion of convenience features such as a heated steering wheel, leather upholstery with orange stitching, navigation, parking sensors, and a few more things you normally wouldn't expect to see on something with a focus on off-roading. Thanks for watching and see you next time.